And thank you for staying with us. Several candidates for Congress have emerged to vie to represent District 15 after Congressman Jose Serrano finishes his term. Now, Bronx State has reached out to all who've officially entered this race, and hopefully we can have them here on set. And we spoke recently to candidate Tomos Ramos, and joining us now, another candidate who we've seen on Open before, not as a candidate, as our financial guy and helping us give some information, but he's here talking from a different perspective now. He's talking about District 15, his candidacy, his issues, and more. Jonathan Ortiz, candidate for Congress, District 15. Good to have you, man.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
I can't ask you any financial tips now, so I guess I have to talk political, all right? So, first of all, I mean, a lot of people were blown away, said, hey, man, this guy's running for Congress, and we see him here, and he's, you know, talking finances, and now he's running for Congress. What made you decide you wanted to do this?
The main reason is the people. I have been a community worker, a community servant all my life. I did the right thing. I followed what my mom said, what my teacher said at PS30 at the Urban Assembly Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice. I got my degree, and with that degree, I have been able to achieve, I got an opportunity to work and help the community, right? But what ends up happening is that even with you having an education in the Bronx, you're still not making a livable wage. The rents are still rising. There's no affordable housing. Even if you did the right thing, you're paying as if you did them wrong.
When you look at District 15 right now, a very wide district, a lot of land to cover, but also a lot of issues. What do you find to be paramount in District 15 that really needs to be addressed?
The number one issue in the Bronx is affordable housing. The second issue after that is the student loan situation, which is the Bronx is number one in student loan defaults. So, you might want to do the right thing. You might get that MSW, you might want to get that law degree, but that comes with a price attached, and we're not getting financial education in our schools. Financial education is, it's not there, it's just not there, not only in the Bronx, but pretty much throughout the entire United States. I want people, when they see this election, don't just see what's happening in the Bronx, see what's happening across the United States. It's a federal election. So what I'm trying to do is push our socioeconomic problems in the Bronx, right? Bringing them to the light of the national stage so that people in Kalamazoo, the people in San Francisco who are also having affordable housing situation says, you know what, Ortiz from the Bronx, he makes perfect sense because we're having the same exact situations in other parts of the country.
So when you look at the issues of the community, you walk the streets, see on Instagram sometimes, Facebook, and you're out there. You're getting the pulse of the community. So what are you hearing as, community concern?
The community concerns is that they need a fierce voice. They need someone to stand up to Donald Trump on immigration and say, no, we're not going to have a father and a little girl die at our border. That's what the people need. The problem in the Bronx in particular is that the people that we are supporting, it's because of their last names. It is because of their money. A lot of people are telling me, hey, Jonathan, you're an educator. You're a financial coach, or, you're this guy. They assume I have money. No, I work at a not-for-profit organization. I help clients every single day rise above poverty. This election is not about money. For me, it's not about money. I could have $0 in my bank account right now, and I will still be doing what I'm doing, because when I decided to major in criminal justice, it wasn't for the money either. Police officers, probation officers, parole, they're not making what they studied for. We do it because we want to protect our communities. We do it because we want to defend our communities, and I'm doing it because I want to advocate for my community. And those are the major, some of the major reasons why I'm doing it. This is some of the major reasons that why a lot of people, keep voting for the same people, because they keep them on, they put up these big advertisements everywhere, I'm doing it because of this, I'm doing it because of that. But in reality, most of them are not even in the district. A lot of them, the people they're running, and I want people to know this. I'm the first one in the country, the first person to put my name on this election. Not because Jose Serrano was doing anything wrong, not because the people there, but because I wanted to make a difference.
And so, with all fairness, you did say that you were running actually while before he actually made his announcement.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was the first one to register back in November. And I told myself, my students at Lehman need a better, they need better payment options. They don't need to carry on a debt. The people from Long Island University, where I graduated from, I have friends, I'm 33 years old, who are still trying to make a payment plan for those student loans back in the day. Because when they left school, they did not get a job that paid them what they should have been getting. We are part of that recession of 2008, and a lot of people don't understand that my generation got the bad end of the stick. from 2008 all the way through now, we are suffering because of the decisions of those who do not have a degree and are making decisions for us.
I want to ask you a question. You talked about the defaulting of student loans, obviously, and that's sometimes due to lack of employment, as you said, right? So here in the Bronx, we've got this issue of unemployment, where the Bronx is leading with unemployment, but then also you've got this issue of jobs that are actually coming in or businesses coming to the Bronx. Talk to us about that balance here, because are we seeing adequate enough business come to the borough from your perspective in your district to be able to handle and supply those jobs that possibly could go to Bronxites, that possibly could help and assist with what you're talking about?
Absolutely. So I think jobs are coming in, but the problem is how many of those people being hired are from the Bronx? How many of those buildings being built are from the people that are in the shelter system right now? All the 60,000 families that are there right now. Because the situation is this. I'm in the shelter system. Why am I in the shelter system? Because I couldn't afford my rent. That puts a dent on my credit report. It puts a dent on my housing record. I applied for the affordable housing building made on 142nd Street and Brook Avenue, but I won't get into that building because the developer says I have bad credit. I have bad credit because I couldn't afford my rent in the first place, because I was not making a livable wage. And these are the types of things that, again, people are not talking, because the developers are funding campaigns, they're funding, and influencing all these different things happening. And we need to break through. So again, I do believe their jobs will be coming. Are they going to Bronxites? That's another question.
I want to ask you a question about if elected, right? So if elected, you go to Washington, D.C., much of America is pretty much displeased with the partisanship that goes on. Speak to me about bipartisanship. If you're elected, do you feel like you'll be able to be bipartisan? Because right now, you hear Democrats and they're firmly against Republicans, and you've got Americans saying, listen, in order to fix America, there's going to have to be some bipartisanship. What are your thoughts about that?
I agree on bipartisanship. The only way that we're going to win, the only way that this country is going to be where it needs to be is by unity. That means that, there's plenty of people in the red states that believe financial education is key. The same way that in the blue states, a lot of people would argue that we do need protection at the borders. Do we need 2 or 3 fences? Of course not. But we do need protection. And I'm sure that unless we're able to unite on certain issues, right, we're not going to be who we want to be.
Mm-hmm. As we said, Congressman Serrano, of course, with seniority, was able to bring a lot of things home to the district simply by virtue of the seniority, right? You go in, if you're elected, you're going to be at the freshman end of the totem pole. What do you say to Bronxites about being able to bring it home? Because from many political perspectives, you're not going to be able to bring it home the same way the congressman brought it home simply because of seniority.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from the Bronx. I'm for the Bronx. I'm the son of a New York City taxi driver. I know the problems are happening, at the grassroots. I know that if elected, when elected, I will be able. It's not only my demeanor. It's just not my, my knowledge. It's the fact that I'm able to discern. I'm able to speak to people. I'm able to relate and listen, and actually come with plans that are going to work for the people. And that's why, that's why I believe that I will be, the voice that the Bronx needs.
All right, Jonathan Ortiz, candidate for Congress, District 15. It's always good to have you.
Likewise, thank you, Daren.
Hey, good to have you. All right now, Jonathan Ortiz, our guest. Now listen, if you want to find out more about Jonathan, all you've got to do is visit a very simple website. It's called Ortiz2020.com. Ortiz2020.com. You'll find out all about his campaign. Listen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right with more after this.